Hi, I'm Larry, owner of Gray Whale Paddle here in Sacramento area. We're going to be doing some basic paddle instruction today on the new Sea Eagle needle nose inflatable paddle board, which is really an outstanding all-around board. We're going to start off with our basic strokes. One of the things you need to know about anything you're paddling really is that the closer the paddle is to the board, the straighter it goes. So the proper position is actually leaning slightly with straight arms, so the paddle is straight up and down along the board. And your forward stroke is going to be reaching in the front, coming out in the back. And that's going to keep your board straight. Make sure when you're standing, you always have your hand on the grip. The grip is aimed a certain direction and is what gives you orientation for your paddle, which angles forward. So as you're paddling your board, if you paddle on the right, there's going to be some tendency to turn the board to the left and vice versa. Of course, again, the more vertical the paddle, the less that will be. So you're going to do a certain number of strokes before transitioning. The transition is generally a movement with a sliding hand. But to make a quick turn, you're going to need to do a sweep stroke. The bow sweep is leaning slightly forward and pushing out, which pushes the bow around. Do the opposite by pulling the tail of the board the other way. And of course, you can do those same strokes on the other side. First, we'll do the back sweep. When we do this, by the way, we do not turn our paddle. We use the back side of the paddle for that part of the stroke. Or we can do the front sweep on that same side. And we can do a combination of the strokes, which is to say a back stroke on that side, switch sides, and do the front sweep on the other side, which then turns the board very quickly, almost in pivot fashion. Practiced our knees to feet. We've wiggled the board. We've done basic turning strokes, forward and backward. Now you can combine those strokes as well. So you can do a front sweep on one side, followed by a stern sweep on the other, and you can almost turn the board around on itself. So reverse and then forward. Okay, so we're going to paddle straight toward this buoy with maybe a slow to medium speed initially. And before we actually pass the buoy, I'm going to plant my paddle on the buoy side and do the stern sweep, starting the board to turn. Switch to the other side, do the bow sweep. One more stern sweep to pull the stern or tail out, and then I'm going to go back to a slight bow sweep, and I'm going to head right back off the buoy. Practice that over and over, and you'll be very proficient at turning and maneuvering the board. The Sea Eagle needle nose not only tracks very well, but it has that unique ability to not only track well, but also turn very well. So the sweep strokes are very effective in making very quick turns on this board. Remember the vertical forward stroke, very vertical. If you forward stroke out to the side, then you will turn. You will also notice on the forward stroke that from the hips and waist, my rear end goes back and my knees go slightly forward, and that way I can reach. If I just stand straight up with knees locked, it's not very effective. You should always have just a slight bend in the knees on the board so that you've got absorb shock, absorb movement of the board, and maintain a strong position. So, if you like that video, would like to learn more, click up here in the corner and subscribe to our YouTube.